Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good afternoon. Today I'm going to share with you the second chapter of computer network, which is the application layer. So what is the application layer? Application layer is the interface between human and data network. It provides the means for generating and receiving data that can be transported on the network. For example, if you look at this picture, a person is talking and also typing in using a desktop and also using a tablet drawing. So all of this person is using a software. And the software is at the application layer, which is at the 7th layer in the OSI model. The same goes as shown in this picture. The application layer prepares human communication for transmission over the data network, and we need to use the software to do that. In this chapter, I'm going to focus on the TCP/IP reference model application layer. So it covers the domain system, HTTP, SMTP, POP, and also DHCP. These are few examples of the application layer. All of it are software. For example, email, Yahoo Mail, Gmail, web browser, Google, voice over IP, real-time video, instant messaging such as WhatsApp, remote login conferencing, P2P file sharing such as torrents, online gaming, PUBG, Warcraft, and also streaming stored video clip. This is also similar like YouTube. So we go to the application layer architecture. There are three types. First is the client-server architecture. Second is the peer-to-peer architecture, and lastly is hybrid of client-server and peer-to-peer architecture. So for the client-server architecture, the components is server and client. So server usually is always on the host with permanent IP address, and usually we have a server farm for scaling. For example, Google, Facebook, they have a server farm which has maybe a few thousand of servers inside the infrastructure or building. The client is us, a user of the computer or the network. So for us, we need to communicate with the server, maybe intermittent connected, or maybe a dynamic IP address, may have dynamic IP address, and do not communicate directly with each other. Means that we do not communicate with other computer, that it's restricted to the server. It's like this picture over here. So we have a client and we have a server behind my picture over here. Okay, often in a client-server application, a single server host is incapable of keeping up with all the requests from its client. For this reason, cluster of hosts, sometimes referred to as a server farm, are often used to create a powerful server in client-server architecture. For example, we have a server farm, Facebook server farm at the Arctic. Why they built their server farm in the Arctic? Because of the heat. Server produce really high intense heat, so they use a natural cooling environment in the Arctic. Google has 12 data servers all over the planet. So 6 of the data center or server farm is at the North America. It estimates that Google has 900,000 servers in all of its data center around the world. So it's quite big, and a lot of server inside those specific data center. Amazon data center also has a 450,000 server and sited in 9 locations around the world. So all the server is connected to, is used by the client, which is us. So let's look into the Google data center. Please scan this QR code and watch how the data center operates. Because of the PKP, we cannot visit the data center in Kuala Lumpur, because last time we did go to visit the data center and experience ourselves inside the data center, but because of PKP, you just have to look through YouTube. The second architecture is P2P or peer-to-peer architecture. So it is not always on the server, and the greatest strength of the P2P architecture is scalability. So basically, peer-to-peer is a communication between client to client or computer to computer, not connected to server. For example, the application that use P2P architecture is torrent software. Torrent is a software that you can download movie or drama, and the data is basically downloaded from the other client, torrent client. The last architecture is the hybrid of client server and P2P architecture. For example, Skype, which is voice over IP P2P application. However, it has a centralized server which provide finding address of remote party. So basically is a hybrid. So you need server to find the address, and once established connection, there will be a P2P communication. Another example is instant messaging such as WhatsApp. So it requires centralized service for present detection and location, and after that there will be only client to client connection, which is P2P. So in this slide, we're going to look into the communication process in the application layer. So the process is running within the host. So in the client, the process initiate communication. However, in the server, the process is wait to be connected. So means that client initiate or request data or information. The server wait and receive the request and reply. So any message sent from one process to another must go through the underlying network. A process send message, it is called and through the network is called socket. Yeah. So the socket is between the application layer and the transport layer. It's like a door between two layers. So a socket is an interface between application layer, like I said, and the transport layer within a host. It is also referred to as application program interface API between the application and the network, since the socket is the programming interface with which network applications are built in the network. So to identify the application use, the identifier used is IP address and port number. This slide shows the example of few applications and also the application layer protocol and the underlying transport protocol. For example, if you look at the email, the application layer protocol is call it SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, and the transport layer is TCP. Another example is web browsing. So it uses HTTP protocol, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, and the transport layer is TCP. If you look at streaming multimedia, such as what we call it online gaming, YouTube, So it uses HTTP and also RTP, and if you look at the transport layer, it has different protocol compared to web and email. It use UDP. So before I forget, TCP is transmission control protocol and UDP is user datagram protocol. Okay guys, this will be the end of our today's lecture. So next week we're going to discuss on the application of the application layer protocol. We're going to differentiate and discuss on the HTTP, SMTP, FTP protocol, inshallah. So that's all. See you next week. Assalamu alaikum.